Thank you for joining today's podcast series. It is day five for Land Investing 101. What I'm trying to do over the last 4 days is explain first time land investors what are the legal terminologies when it comes to buying a land parcel. What's the difference between a parcel and a lot versus a tract? What is the social security number for your parcel, which translates to an APN? How are APNs born? Having said that, now once we've understood the APN and how it's born, you need to understand what those numbers translate to. So, subject, township, and all of those details have also been explained in the earlier podcast. What we're focusing on today is plat maps. Many a times, a lot of people don't have access to reviewing what a correct plat map will look like. Having said that, I'm going to share and walk you guys through how to read one. Uh, with the example of a recent survey done for one of our properties out here. Again, yesterday we were using the user manual. Yesterday was the global grid, STR. Today is the neighborhood zoom. What we're trying to focus on is the plat map, is how you are designed for that specific street where you're planning to buy. So why does this matter? Like you'll be like, Harpreet, why are we even discussing this? The paper street trap. Nothing Not everything that is drawn on a map exists in real life. And surprisingly, you might see a Google map and think, you know what, this looks perfect, but you need to go to the nitty gritty details to understand what are the roads used for, what is the setback for it, is there any public easement on it, if something, a public utility, electric posts are supposed to be coming, where you can start building on it. There's a lot that we'll be discussing on the setbacks, but you need to understand the difference between a road and a line. And that's where the difference comes in. So today we are on day five, the identification process. Just to do a quick recap, week one is all about identifying. Understood the difference between parcel versus lot, subject township revisions. Right now, plat maps, here we are. And again, the next couple of days, you'll be learning more about the ghost lots and gross versus net. Uh, let's get into the nitty gritty details of subdivision plat. Platting again is a process of slicing a big piece or a section of land into small parcels. A map is technically drawn by a surveyor that is slicing a large tract into blocks and lots. It is recorded in the plat map book of the courthouse. Again, these were built in 1900s. Again, each county to its own, so it gets very difficult at times to even get a hand on those. But just so you understand what that really translates into is hierarchy, big to small. A big subdivision is like the neighborhood. It could be around about 640 acres, and then it's divided into group of blocks. And that block consists of individual lot of lots, and the lot is technically what you end up buying. And that is your individual rectangle. Okay. We are getting to guide you through understanding on how does a plat map will look. By the end of these slides, you will be able to see a fully generated surveyor boundary that has come through one of our properties. But what I'm trying to make sure is for you guys to read through. So the decoder ring, the legend I call it, it is a very important thing. Every map has a key. Look for symbols, iron pins, concrete monuments, utility poles. Never ignore the legend. So, what you're trying to basically understand is where is the property out there and what are the monument figures out there. Let's say you have something in Manhattan, then the figure out there will be maybe the Empire State Building or Times Square. So, that is a key symbol. Now, bring it into rural parcels and you want to find the decoder rings, which helps you identify the map, and that's where you will see all of these. Look at the next image. So many a times uh, you will see uh, when you get survey done for your properties, you will have a certain part of that document that says into legend, and bear with the blurriness of it, but you will see found an iron pipe on this lot around turning monument and identification. So This is something that you need to always understand, and you will always have it in one of the parcels when the surveyor does the boundaries for yours. The scale. Do not get confused. A inch is technically transferring into some type of feet. If for some reason, if you see on the scale what the distance is, it's technically 1 inch is translating into 100 feet. So you do not check the scale, you won't know if the lot is 50 wide or 100-inch wide, and that's where you need to understand the mechanism of how the scaling and the measurement is done. Let's see. So as blurry as this is, you will see a lot of times there will be a certain number like 148 or 170 feet, and that is what the scale is translating into. Orientation. So many times, how we say find a north star, this is the north arrow, usually points up, but sometimes survey rotate these map to fit the paper. Always find the north arrow first. Let's dive into the image itself. Uh, Again, this is one of our properties which we recently sold. It was on Kin Street and Nielsen Ave. And per the surveyor, you will see that he's trying to locate the north side of the property. And this is the graphic scale. What it does is it gives you an idea just for the orientation perspective of how the property is located. And it's just the legal terminology of residing the Plat Map. Many times, as I was showing in the previous image as well, 125 dash means 125 feet. If a number is in parentheses, it means original survey versus measured. Uh, at times, the calculated acreage versus the real acreage tends to be a set off. Again, these are very unique scenarios, but this is just the legal terminology of you understanding what was the found measurement of your parcel versus the original survey. The block number. Usually it's a very large circle number in the center of the block. Everything in that rectangle belongs to that block. Uh, as you guys can see in this as well, right? This is one of the properties, and a piece of it I'm trying to explain it to you is you see this block number, the lot 523 and the block number. This area is vacant. This technically is telling you this is your plot, and everything inside of this is what you own. And that's where you guys need to be more educated so you're able to understand your plat map. Always stay away from easements. You, when you're doing your due diligence, I know a lot of people don't have access to the plat maps, but counties have their own GIS maps, which we'll discuss some other time, but I can send in the link. And you always check for public utility easements. Look for dotted lines inside your lot boundaries. 10 PU means power company owes 10 first 10 feet. You cannot build there. These are county based setback rules. Each lot has its own style and their own setback rules. But ideally, 10 feet, first 10 feet is always reserved for the public utility companies. For them, they cannot build around that area. That is just ensuring, like, if in future there is a full blown grid that's coming and there is electricity coming in, uh, you are told not to build it. But let's say if this utility easement is on the whole lot, then technically you are not able to use it. So always be careful of easements. I will be educating you guys all across down the series on how to leverage and understand uh, the GIS mapping tool to locate these public utility easements. Right of way, or let's say this street is usually 60 feet wide. This includes pavement and a grassy switchtails. So the right of way is you can drive through it since it is your street. Many times we have these landlocked parcels where you don't have access to your property, and that's where you need to be extra careful. So the dedication, who owns the road? Look for a paragraph signed by the developer if you're buying from a developer, dedicated to the perpetual use of public. This means counties should maintain it. Most of these roads, it just comes out to who owns the road and whose responsibility is to maintain it. Many times, if you see this paragraph signed by the developer dedicated to the perpetual use of public, this means it's a county owned. If that's something that is not mentioned, if you're buying from a developer, you need to do more due diligence to understand what kind of property it is and what they're referring to. Setback lines. This again was something I was trying to educate earlier is some old plats show a building line. This was the 1917s rule. Today's zoning might be different, but the plat line still matters. So the building line, county is still very strict about the setback rules. Again, depending on the shape and size of your lot, a lot of these rules come into play. Uh, a rectangular lot has a different setback rule versus a triangular lot, or maybe let's say the corner lot. So you guys need to double check in which county you're buying and how does your land piece look like and understand the setback rules. Today's zoning might be different, but plat, the line still matters a lot. So guys, you have to be extra careful. So this is again the plat map I was discussing. This is the technical buildable area. These comes to the road access. Since it's on Nielsen Ave, you can technically come in, access the plot, go back. You're not landlocked. Um, it's always good to know. Curve data, the geometry. On corner lots, you see delta radius arc. This calculates the curve. Don't let the math scare you, just know it's a curve. Again, curve data, if you have a corner lot, that's when this comes into play. You will see the boundary surveyor's boundary report for the plat map has a radius and an arc, and the math looks a bit tricky for the twice the setback rules. But just know that it's just a curve at the end of the day, and you need to double check with the county to understand where you're going to build your lot. So this is how a boundary survey will look like once you have it done and you want to build on it. In order for you to get an address, you need a surveyor to do the boundary survey. And this is how you will get the whole picture. So just recapping it, from the point I was mentioning, there is going to be a legend, there's going to be a north. The direction, what this gives us is what street and what avenue you're on. They will mention which street your parcel is, what are the measurement units, what does the legal terminology mean for the lot you're owning, what plat book and what page you're sitting on, um, and gives you the holistic idea of where you can build. Once you have all of these done from a surveyor, that's where you get the green signal to applying for, let's say, a E91 emergency 911 address for your parcel, because now exactly know where this rural piece of land is sitting. But yeah, that's one of the ways where you guys can actually understand what a plat map looks like. This was done 2 months ago, so it is pretty new. And having said that, it just helps you guys make an informed choice. So reading the real map, I'm pulling the plat map for Interlaken and state. You will find lot 7, block 60. Again, this is reading it real time. This is how the plat map looks for the property I was discussing. And again, very key points for you to understand and make these done. But for most part of this heavy lifting is done by surveyors. So always do the visual check. Does the lot touch the road line? If yes, you have legal access. If the touch is another lot, you're landlocked. Um, a lot of times buyers don't have access to these tools. What I've done on my website is made it easier for you to, at least for the lots that we are selling, for you guys to have a good perspective of if it's touching another lot, are you landlocked or not? Firstly, we never sell landlocked properties, but having said that, it's always good to know. So let me show you what I have. Again, before I go, let's actually finish this checklist. Always you find the block, you find the lot, you check for the dimensions and you spot for easements. This is a good checklist anytime you're buying a piece of land. Uh, or you should definitely ask your buyer and understand what is happening there. Uh, Again, quick quiz. What is a PUE? It's a public usage entry. Is it private underground entry or public utility easement? So if anything that says PUE, please don't mill on it. You won't be allowed. There's a lot of hard-earned money. Uh, but definitely do the easement check to understand if something is there and stay away from those landlocked properties. I'm gonna do is give you guys an overview of the tool that I have on my website that you can definitely leverage for the properties that I have to do the due diligence. This is a property I have in Putnam County, Florida. It's a 0.22 acre lot. We will give you a lot of these key details here for you from the GPS coordinates where it is. Uh, Also, we do have a 3D view for the property itself where you can explore it. But what I'm really focusing on is this tool it's specific. As you guys can see, if you can go in, this has access to the road directly, so this is not landlocked. It also gives you a holistic idea of how the platting has been done for each and every parcel. And this is where we are. Over in general, this is how the sections are divided. And once you go in, you will be able to see a lot of these features. When it comes to easements as well, there's a good way of checking on it. If you click on this button on our website, it helps you open up and lets you know if there are any specific easements. In general, I have a lot of these other options also enlisted depending on what you guys want to double check. If there is a railroad on it, if there is surface water, if there is transmission lines, there are wetlands. And as you guys can see from the demo in specific, like there aren't a lot or any of these red flags, which I call. You will definitely see the water on the left and the right hand side or maybe below, but our parcels are that way very much rest assured, clean and away from all the red flags. Um, if you guys are interested in buying this property, you can put it on hold, which is using the hold feature. Either you can do a 7-day hold. This is specifically for the buyers uh, who are out of state, where you can technically select this property, which is on Brett Avenue, and then just initiate the priority hold. What it does is it puts this property out of the market for anybody else to buy, where you are rest assured for the next week can go look at the property, do your due diligence. We highly encourage everyone to call the Putnam County, call the specific counties, make some calls, understand and do their due diligence. And if you have any questions and concerns, you can definitely get in touch with us. I prefer doing one-on-one video calls, so I have this Calendly option where you can book a video call with me. It could be 15-20 minutes depending on your availability. We are working from 6 through 6. I'm currently located in California. Um, More than happy to accommodate any other timings. Just let me know. All you need to do is enter your name, email, and text number, and that way you can schedule an event with me, and we can discuss either any of these properties or any other ones which you guys are interested on. We also need want to tell you is on the other side, we are coming with a lot of new properties as well in different states and counties, so stay tuned. Again, thank you for joining this stream. Hopefully this feature which I explained you guys was of more help for buying properties from us or anywhere where you can do your due diligence. I will also put in this plat map location for specific properties out there where you guys can do more research and understand the platting of it. Um, it is again more on the GIS side, but it really helps. Like I will also put in Putnam County appraiser's office. Let's see. So yeah, this is the one as well. I'll also put in this specific link as well for you guys. this is another free tool which you guys can see and understand, and it will give you at least the idea of understanding of how the platting works. Also, just out of curiosity, as you guys can see this, right? This is the specific lot I was mentioning. And if you move on the right hand side, you will say this is an encumbrance type utility easement. So technically, this is where you will understand you cannot build on this specific property. I'm glad I was able to show this to you in real time as well. Uh, any plot that is here is technically not been helpful. You cannot build on it. So just so, and I guess this is gonna be very, very helpful for anybody who's buying. So I will attach this link in addition to the main link for you guys to see and do it. Again, this curve is another one which I was echoing to. Uh, doesn't mean a lot, but again, mm, a good thing to know, and just so you understand the platting of it. Again, thank you for joining today's live. Any questions, do let me know in the chat section. I'll be more than happy to answer. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a different topic and keep you guys educating. Have a great one. Bye.